What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So this is a video that I've been hyping up for like a little bit of time now since the iPhone 11's release. And you know what? There's no easy way to say it, but the iPhone 11 in a way kind of messed up. The whole release actually messed up the iPhone XR's pricing structure, in my opinion. Okay, now, if you guys don't know a little bit of background about me, I'm a very cheap man. I buy a lot of used technologies. I don't like spending a lot of money because I don't have a lot of money. So I like buying used technology. I think that's a better idea and a better price. And I like selling sometimes. I don't really sell my phones as much as I used to, but back in the day, I used to resell my phones in order to recoup the money that I would kind of put into it. You know, if I bought a phone for like 500, I would want to keep it for a while and then probably hopefully resell it for the same 500, or maybe lose like $50 or whatever on the resale. But point being, with an iPhone, you kind of expect that phone to hold its value a lot more than, Android phones. And that's no bash to Android phones. I love Android, dude. I have tons of Android phones as well. I just bought the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 and 10 Plus, and I love those phones too. Well, the 10 Plus more so, but the depreciation value for the iPhone XR, okay, is going to go down so much more than it should have in the beginning with. Now, that's a good thing for people who are buying the iPhones, but that's a bad thing for people who want to sell their iPhones in the future, at least for the iPhone XR. Now, in the future, I don't know how their structure is going to be, whether they're going to keep the XR or keep the 11, because if that's the case, then that means the XR and the 11 will probably not hold their values that well at all. So just following along, last year, actually a couple of months ago, we saw the report that the iPhone XR was the best-selling iPhone of the time. It was pretty much beating the XS, the XS Max, and all other iPhones that were being sold at the Apple stores at that time. So that means right now, automatically, there's not that much, so that means right there that there's a demand for the iPhone XR, but at the same time, they're filling that demand. So like the price, they can keep the same price, whatever, it's not a big deal. With that being said, that means a ton of people own the iPhone XR. That means a lot more people are going to sell them because there's more in the market. So with that being said, when Apple released their iPhone 11, usually they docked down the price about $100. So they were selling it for $749 at the beginning with. And so what they did was they actually took down that price, not $100, but they took it down $150, which might not seem that big of a deal to you or whatever, but that price went from $749 to $599, okay, which is about $150. It's exactly $150. But if you look at that, that's actually $100 less than the iPhone 11, which is good. Dude, I'm running so much math, like I don't even know how I'm going to do this. But right before the iPhone 11's release, I was looking at the used prices of the iPhone XRs, and they were hovering around the 550, 570, 580 price range. So not like a crazy depreciation, kind of what you expect. But the strange thing is that Apple has now lowered that price down to its depreciated value, that what it was before the new iPhone's release. So that means the iPhone XR is going to go down an additional massive amount. In my opinion, I don't know how much it is going to be, but why would somebody pay $580 or $550 for a used iPhone XR where they can get a brand new one for $599? So in my opinion, I think the iPhone XR is going to depreciate more. I think it's going to be cheaper than the iPhone X here in a little bit. If I had to say, probably the XR will go down to like $400, probably to $450. I wouldn't even be surprised if it went down even less than that. I know that's a huge assumption, I don't know. But we saw with the Galaxy, S10, even the Note 9, those phones saw massive depreciation because of similar things. Android phones usually go down a lot more anyway, but because of those trade-in values and because Samsung, keeps their phones, the software life cycle and all that stuff, it's crazy things. Even LG phones, it's not just exclusive to Samsung. A lot of phone manufacturers see a lot of depreciation on way different phones, and the iPhone XR, I think, with the iPhone 11's release, the resale value of that has gone down dramatically. And I talked about this with the Galaxy S10 as well. And this isn't a massive problem. It's not like something that's going to affect, every single iPhone user. But for the iPhone XR, the people who use it and were planning to resell it, they're actually not going to be able to get as much as they could have had they seen, the normal depreciation, the $100, now we're seeing an additional $50. But because of that, the prices match pretty much what the resale value was before. So now that price is going to go down even more now. So if you pay that full $750 for your iPhone XR, technically speaking, you kind of paid $50 over the price because now they dropped it to $699. But on top of that, it's not worth that $750. It's worth $599 now. And now you're going to depreciate even more. Like, it's crazy. I mean, if you spent I spent almost over $800 on my iPhone XR. If I were to resell, I'm not going to, but if I were to, I would probably end up putting it up for $450. And even then, the iPhone XR has pretty much depreciated almost 50%, probably 40, but that's a lot more than we usually see with a lot of other iPhones. So it's cool for the buyers, but for the sellers, for a lot of people, the best selling iPhone at the time, if it's released, a lot of people I think are going to be disappointed because of their resale value and how much they're pretty much losing on their value of their iPhone XR. So just a quick little thought. I felt like I had to get that out of there because I talk so much about used phones, and I felt like the iPhone XR is a very good value. And I feel like the iPhone XR is a really good value. I just kind of feel bad for the people who are reselling their phones now, but for the people who are buying it, I think it's great. But But that's a little bit of my thinking. It's just my opinion, but I don't know, man. Maybe I'm right, but that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.